Hi there. So super exciting day today. Immersed released a new version of their software that has some incredible features. Keyboard tracking that's going to blow your mind, some other things. But the one thing that I want to talk about and show you here today is the pass-through feature. This is something that a lot of us who use Immersed on a daily basis, we've been waiting for this for a very long time, but I can imagine it's an incredibly complex feature to implement, but the way they implemented it in Immersed is just genius. It's so cool, and it really makes the system usable. So I'm going to jump in and show you what that is. If you don't know what Passthrough is, I'm going to do a quick demo of what Passthrough is, and then we're going to jump in and see what it looks like inside Immersed. One item of note, important item of note, the software that I'm using to record the virtual reality portion of this can get really choppy and weird, and it can freeze and stuff. Normally you can't record pass-through. It just shows up as black. I figured out a way to do it, but it's the quality is not the best. So in the video ahead, I apologize if the virtual reality portion of the video gets out of sync or something like that. But I think you will see enough to give you the idea of how it works. So first I'm going to show you what pass-through looks like, and then we'll jump into Immersed. Okay, so here I am in virtual reality, but I'm not in Immersed yet. This is just one of the landing areas in the Oculus. The Oculus has what's called a guardian, which is basically a boundary that you set in the real world that it will warn you if you're going to cross through that. This prevents people from crashing into their televisions in real life and so forth. I'm using what's called a stationary boundary, which is basically a circle around me. So if I lean out of the circle, there you see this circle appear, and if I keep going, then now you see the black and white sort of cameras of the real world here. There's a piano over there. Here is the tripod and camera that I'm using to record this video, a whiteboard and so forth. So when I leave this area, you see the cameras in the headset project to me the real world around me. It's a safety feature. That's called pass-through. So the way that Immersed implemented pass-through in their system is really cool. Let's take a look at that right now. Okay, so here we are in Immersed. I happen to have 3 screens open at the moment, and I'm in the virtual environment called the Nebula. Now, I can have as many as 5 screens, and I can have all different kinds of environments, but right now everything I see is virtual. I don't see anything in the real world. Now, Oculus has a feature where you can double tap the side of your headset to enable what they call full pass-through. And when you do that, I can't see anything having to do with Immersed. It's only my cameras. So when I double tap, now I can see my real world around me. Immersed is completely gone. So that doesn't do me any good. I can't see my screens or anything. I double tap, and now I'm back in Immersed, and I can see my screens. So that works fine if you just need to double tap and come out, and you can see the world around you, and then you can double tap to come back in. But it's a real hassle. One of the things that you can do is implement pass-through in 3 different ways. The first way I want to show you is, let me pull up the main menu here, is full pass-through. So now you can see that I have full pass-through, but yet I still see my screens. I see the 3 screens in front of me, or whatever screens I have set up. It's a little bizarre if you have giant screens in a small room because the perspective, but this is a really good thing that people like to do if they like to work in their living room or on a sofa or something. You can be in the living room, you can see the whole living room all around you, but you still have your big screens and you can work. So that's one way that's fun to work. I personally don't like that because for me, I like the virtual environments. They're very interesting and entertaining. But one of the problems that I've struggled with is the keyboard. Not being able to see the keyboard at all and completely blind typing has been difficult. Well, now you see on the pass-through menu here, they have a keyboard option. So let's turn that on. So now here is a keyboard pass-through. So let me show you how this works. So this, I can drag this around. This is a small rectangular, kind of a flat object here, and you can see that you can see the real world through it. Like right now, where I have it positioned, I can see the camera on the tripod there in the real world. Well, this was designed for the keyboard, so I might bring this in, make it a little bigger, grab a corner, kind of position it right here. I want to make it big enough to include my trackball, and then I'll take this top and kind of fold, kind of lay it down there. Oops. Let me try that again. You can grab it with two hands, move it around, make it a little lower. There we go. We'll lay that flat. Perfect. So I can pin that in place. Now, disable my hands. Now, when I look down, I can see my keyboard. So I still have my screens. I'm still in this fun virtual environment, but when I look down, I can see the keyboard. And this is really helpful. Even though the resolution is bad, it's black and white, and you can't read the individual letters on the keys, that is not Immersed's fault. That's just the resolution of these cameras that are in the headset. Future versions of the headset will have higher resolution, full color cameras, and this will be perfectly sharp. But even though this is somewhat blurry, it's still extremely helpful because I can see where my trackball is. I can grab it. If it was a mouse, it'd be even more useful because you can see where the mouse is. It moves around. I can see where the keypad is. I can see there's the number 5, and quickly I can see my own hands in the real world over my own keyboard, and that's very useful. It's extremely, it makes it so much better to use when you can just glance down and see it. So also I will mention, let me enable my hands here for a second. When your hands are enabled and they are over the pass-through, you see these, my thumbs and index fingers have these green sort of renderings on them. It tracks with my fingers. And this is by design. They didn't do the whole hand because then it doesn't get in your way. It's easy to see your actual hands. Your actual real life hands are not obscured by fake hands, but yet you can see where your fingers are, and that allows you to do things like, you can touch the different menu items with your fingertips and such, that works. But when your hands are disabled like this, now over the keyboard, you don't see that. So again, this is a really nice, easy, good way to see the keyboard. So the third way, so we have full pass-through, we have the keyboard pass-through. The next set of pass-through windows are what they call portals. So I'll show you what those look like. So you have the option of up to 5 portals. I'm going to start by just enabling one portal. Just to make it a little easier to see, I'm going to hide my screens. I'll bring my screens back in a minute, but enable my hands. I can unpin the portal and I can move it around. Now, wherever I look through this portal, like there I can see the camera, you can see the real world behind it. Now, so there's 3 different shapes you can choose from. This is the square. You can also choose a rectangle, which is basically the keyboard tray or keyboard pass-through, and then there's a circle. And so on all of these, I can grab them, I can turn and shape, I can grab these handlebars and make them large, or I can just grab with two hands, make them large, make them small, make them small. You can move these shapes around. So whatever shape is convenient for you, you can make. Now you can also go to 3D. Let me move this up a little. I can go to 3D. So in 3D now, instead of a circle, I have a sphere. Or I can get to a kind of a long cube. It's a rectangular cube. I can move that around and shape it different directions in different ways. Or a simple cube like this. Now this is super bizarre and kind of fun, but if I make this large and put it here, I can actually put my head inside the pass-through to see through it, which is kind of trippy. So here, if you look in my real-life camera, I'm facing forward. The cube is to my right here. When I look straight ahead, I see the virtual world. But I can put my head in the portal, and I can see into the real world through the portal, which is just mind-blowing. Like, it's just, when the first time I did that, I just about lost my mind. So anyway, that's kind of fun. But so you can have different sizes, different shapes. One of the things I like to do, getting to a more practical level, is kind of a smallish sphere, maybe something about the size of a basketball in real life. And I will put this right over here. So here now, I'll pin that in place so I have a nice sphere of coffee. So if I have my screens enabled, then I can see all my screens. I can look down and see my keyboard when I need to. I can have 5 screens, whatever, but I can also look over here and see my coffee cup. And I can grab my coffee cup and have a drink and put it right back down on its coaster. So, and again, it allows me to see things that I want to see in the real life, but in the virtual world. So here's another fun thing you can do is let me turn on the second portal, and I'm going to unpin it, and on this one I'm going to make this a rectangle in 3D, kind of make that a little smaller, and then I'll put this right over here and there, so I can highlight my controllers there. So maybe I can pin that in place. So now I have a little, I can see where the controllers are. If I need to grab the controllers, I can just grab the controller and put it back. Now, for the record, don't use your controllers in Immersed. Hand tracking is a bajillion times better, but it's an example of something you could do. One more fun thing I can do here is let's enable another portal, and oops, I missed it. There we go. So I turn on another one. I'm going to leave this one kind of flat and square and make it like a window, and I'll put it down here because it's probably hard to tell from the poor resolution, but those are my 2 adorable little puppies who are sleeping in their little puppy bed right here at my feet. So again, that doesn't distract from my workflow. I have my workflow in front of me, but I can glance down and see that the puppies are okay. So you can just use your imagination on the different ways in which you can use the pass-through. It's kind of mind-blowing. It's pretty incredible. So I'm going to go ahead and leave Immersed here for a second. So I hope you're excited about Immersed and about using Passthrough. It's pretty incredible when you do it. And one more time, I want to reiterate that in Immersed, that is smooth as silk. There's no jitteriness. It doesn't stutter. The way I'm recording the VR video in order to capture that pass-through is a little janky, and it makes the video sort of get out of sync and stuff. But give it a try. Go to the Immersed Discord if you need to. There's a link to that below. If you have any questions, people will be there to help you. But it is incredible to explore these environments that they have in Immersed all over, all different types of environments. And now with these pass-through portals, you can see what you need to see in the real world without, but you can block out everything else. So it's an incredible new feature. I'm super excited about it. A small group of us have been beta testing it for a while, and it works fantastically. So give Immersed a try. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day.